Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
New on Curiosity Stream. How do you connect a 16th century potato to limitless energy production? Could Napoleon's toothpick have a direct link to a machine that predicts the future? And how can a 1700s conch shell chart a course to humans connecting their brains to the internet? James Burke's visionary series Connections returns for a new generation. Experience all new Connections. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Hey y'all, it's me, Elena Grace, and you're listening to another episode of I've Been Thinking. So today I am bringing to you Eden Busani, a life coach and author, to discuss her experience with energy and manifestation. Eden, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's start out with you telling us about yourself.
Okay, a little bit about myself. Well, currently I'm on a self-discovery journey, all about transformation and transforming my life, personal development, and that really started about 2 years ago when I kind of hit my rock bottom. My rock bottom kind of started at a younger age when I was about 19, 20. And when that hit that rock bottom, I started asking myself so many questions, like, what am I doing here? Why is this happening? Or other questions, like, what am I passionate about? What am I going to do as a career, for example? What am I going to do with myself? What do I like to do? What don't I like? And what I realized was that the more questions I was asking myself, the less I actually knew about myself. And that really kind of got to me because I realized that I really don't know who I was as a person. And that really, really bothered me. You know, you wake up, you look in the mirror every day, you see yourself, but you don't know what that reflection is. So that really shifted my entire perspective on everything. And that's what got me started in getting to know myself, practicing different self-love strategies, studying manifestation and the power of the mind, how you can really change your reality with just your thoughts. And we think thoughts are just so simple. It's just between me and myself. It's just my thoughts. Nobody can get into my head. But little do we know that your thoughts that are going through your head, that's actually the reality that you are currently living. The reality, your life right now at the moment, is a result of your thoughts. It's a direct result of your energy, aka thoughts. Your thoughts are simply energy. That's what it is. So it's a very, very big deal. And when I started practicing that, you know, I took it to the next level of taking courses and teaching people and talking. And that's really what I'm all about right now. So that's a bit in a nutshell of what I'm currently doing and what kind of led me into why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
I love that. I had a similar journey a few years ago, and I find myself on another one right now where I'm kind of like, I'm not the same person I was a few years ago, you know, when I figured all this out. So I'm learning even more about myself now and figuring out like how to use energy and just all of that stuff. So I really love that. And I love that you're taking the opportunity of your growth to teach other people too, because that's kind of what I want to do. That is one of my goals with the podcast, actually, you know.
Thank you. Yes. So I'm actually really excited for today because we're talking about, one of my favorite topics, manifestation. And I'm just going to let your audience know, like, we're going to be getting into a lot more than just manifestation, because manifestation is the end goal.
Right.
But there's so many things that lead to that manifestation. And, the quote, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So it's not about the manifestation, it's about the journey that leads you to actually manifest. Manifestation really is just when you're able to bring your desires into your reality. Right? You're thinking, oh, I was just thinking about that yesterday, or how much I wanted this. And suddenly I have it now, like a few weeks later. Or I was just thinking that I wanted to get a promotion, and suddenly I got this promotion. And that's called manifesting. A lot of times we think like, oh, it's a miracle. Like, I was just thinking about it and look, it appeared at my front door. It's not a miracle. It really is. But that's what we're supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be happening. We're meant to be manifesting. So I'm really excited to get into how we can manifest and the different things that we can keep in mind. We're going to touch on like happiness and gratitude and your thoughts, your energies, people who surround you. Those are all massive, massive things that contribute to what you're manifesting and how you're manifesting. And most importantly, how you treat yourself. We're going to get into that when we talk about happiness, because, all the people around the world, what are we in pursuit of? We're in pursuit of happiness. We're all looking for that happiness, whether, they're getting a new outfit, they're getting a new car, they're buying a new home, they think getting into a relationship might make them happy. Maybe this career choice would make me happy. And we're constantly trying to figure out ways to satisfy our need for being happy. The thing is that happiness is this big treasure that everyone's looking for. And that treasure is in you. I like taking things a little bit into like fantasy. So I just want you to close your eyes for a second and just like imagine, like you're in a remote island and you hear there's a treasure. There's a map, right? And you're looking for this treasure. And most often than not, if there's a massive treasure that everybody's looking for, it's not going to be outright on the map. There's going to be some, tricks, some twists in the map, maybe some secret messages, and you need to discover where this treasure is based off of this map, which is not so clear, this map, right? You got to find, it's like this kind of Indiana Jones style, you got to find that treasure, right? The thing is, and this is the secret, that we look everywhere except for the place that it really is in. We look everywhere, we turn up over every stone, but where it really is inside every single one of us. And we don't look there because we think, hey, well, we think it's not going to be there because we're not happy. So why would it be in me if I'm not happy? But the truth is, it really, really is in you. When you get to know yourself on a deeper level, when you understand your emotions, when you find your passions, that all brings calmness and happiness into your life, that joy. And that's all connected with energies and your thoughts, which is going to lead us to manifestation. So very big topic, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I love that treasure hunt analogy. That was really good. Well, let's go ahead and just dive in. Yeah?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so just you tell us what you know. And then after you after you impart your wisdom on us, right? I have a few just discussion questions that were sent in from a few of the listeners.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're interactive like that.
Me too. So just you have the floor.
Awesome. So we're talking about manifestation today, and let's kind of start with the definition of manifestation, right? Manifesting something, like I said before, is when you have a desire for something. You want a certain thing. You want it to be in your reality, right? You want to actually see it and have it in your life. When that happens, that is manifesting. Now, there are so many times that people say, either because they're new to manifesting or they really don't know how to manifest, and they'll say, like, I've been trying to manifest for so long, nothing's happening, I don't see any results, nothing I actually want is here, like, I don't have the new job I wanted, I can't seem to find my soulmate, I don't have the $1 million in my bank account, right? I'm not manifesting. The truth is, and this is the truth for everything, you are constantly manifesting. Right. Never think that you're not manifesting. Even when you feel like you're not manifesting, you're manifesting. Right? Because the universe always receives messages. Now, how do we manifest? How does that happen? The universe receives messages from us. These messages are the energies that come out from ourselves that we emit. Now, there's low frequency vibrations, there's high frequency vibrations. And what that means is, when you're feeling in a good mood, when you have good energies, right? Whether it's joy, whether you're happy, whether you're being grateful, whatever it is, that is high frequency vibrations. When you're feeling good, your body radiates energies with a high frequency. And the universe will take that and read it, and whatever you give off, that's what you'll get back. And manifestation is kind of like karma, because what you see in your reality is a reflection of what you are currently giving off. So if your life right now is in a great space and you're happy and you're achieving things and you're purposeful and everything's just going and flowing in this great direction, that's because your energies are giving off great vibes that the universe reads and sends it back to you. Now, what happens if you're in a bad mood, right? Whether you're stressed out, whether you're anxious or depressed or sad or angry, annoyed, you could be frustrated at your 3-year-old or whatever is going on, right? At that moment, your energy is still radiating that energy, but this kind of energy is a little bit different. This kind of energy is called low frequency vibrations. Those are different waves that are being emitted from your body, and the universe is still reading. So it's still going to be reading your energies, but this time, instead of reading good energies, it's reading bad energies. And it's going to do the same thing. What you give is what you get. And this is what I like to call self-incriminating karma. Because so many times we can do things that in reality, we're blocking our own manifestation. We're blocking our own blessings. And then we ask ourselves, well, why am I not manifesting? Why is it not happening for me? Check your energies. Check your vibes. Now, I'm going to give you some things that whether you've noticed it or not, you're probably doing this, and this is what's probably blocking your manifestation, your abundance, and your blessings. And if you're doing this in your life, just take a moment and think of how you can actually change what you're currently doing and turn it into better energies. So, for example, and I've done this too, you want something specific, right? You want something really nice. For the sake of this episode, let's stick with a job, right? So you want to get a good job. You want to get that promotion. You can manifest that. But as human beings, we tend to like to take control. And manifestation is all about surrendering. Manifestation is all about saying, I believe 100%, I have faith in the universe, in myself, in my future, in this everything, the energy, that if it's good for me, it will happen. And if it's not good for me, then something better is waiting. Because when there's a door closing, another door opens. And maybe that door is better for you, but sometimes we get so locked on this idea that we want that we don't see the full picture, that maybe this really isn't the right promotion for me. Right? Maybe if I get this promotion, it's going to stop me from getting something bigger that I wanted. So a lot of times we take full control and say, I want this promotion. I want it so badly. I need it. Right? Now, when we're in this thought process of needing and wanting, that's coming from desperation. Because you're either giving off energies of lack or you're giving off energies of abundance. When you are thinking, I want this, I need this, you're thinking in lack. Automatically that sparks lack in your life. Why? Because if you had it, you wouldn't need it.
Right.
And if you had it, you wouldn't want it because you already have it. So when you say, I really want this, and when you start feeling desperate, and when you start fighting and for that position, and you're working so hard and you're trying to be in control and you're being stressed, that is the blockage to your manifestation. Whatever you desire is not going to happen because the energies that you're giving off is negative energies. It's all about the vibes. So what kind of energies are you bringing off? And you can use this with everything, anything you want in your life. You can use it even if you're trying to find your soulmate. Are you like constantly desperately finding people? Are you on every dating app? Like, are you crying yourself to sleep every single night? What are you doing that's causing the universe to respond in such a way? What are you doing that is blocking that opportunity of you finding the right person? So there's a lot of strategy here. When you understand that your energies have a very big part in what is going on in your life and your thoughts as well, when you're thinking, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe it's not for me, maybe I'm meant to be single, right? All of these thoughts, that triggers your emotions, and your emotions are your energy. So it's all intertwined, right? So when you let go of that control and you 100% believe that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and I'm only going to get good, automatically that stress is removed. That negative vibe is removed from you. So instead of thinking, maybe say, I want this promotion so badly, tell yourself, if this is the right thing for me, I want this promotion. I will get this promotion. Start thinking, changing your thought process, because your thoughts and the way you think of things, that's what you're seeing in your reality, like I said. So it's very important to know how to switch your words around and how to switch your thoughts around, even if it's something that you really truly want.
That's a really important distinction, I think, to make that difference between make that distinction, for lack of a better word off the top of my head, that, I really want this, so I'm sending out this energy that I want it to come into my life, or I really want this, so I'm sending out this desperate energy that I need it to come into my life, right?
100%. It's all about the station that you're tuned into. Are you tuned into lack, or are you tuned into gratitude, into abundance, right? So, for example, I always give this example. It's one of my top examples that I give when I talk about manifestation. You're listening to the radio, right? You're in your car, you're listening to the radio, and you know that you want to listen to, for example, pop, right? So you're going to tune into the station that offers pop music, right? You're not going to go into the pop station and expect to hear reggae, right? Because you are in the pop station, that is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times what we do in our own life. Like, we want abundance, we want blessings, we want good and opportunities and all the good stuff, right? And yes, we live in a world of plenty, and we want all of that plenty. But what station are you tuned into? Because if you're tuned into the station of lack, that's all you're going to get. You can't expect to tune into a certain station, in this situation, a station of lack, and expect to receive abundance. Because all you're going to get in that station is lack. All you're going to get by feeling down and sulking is lack. So we need to learn how to reroute our energies, how to reroute our emotions and our thoughts into the direction that we want to go. Because we are constantly manifesting. The question is, what are we manifesting? So for your audience, there's actually some great tips that we can do, because let's face it, we live in this world, we're human beings, we're bound to feel sad sometimes, and that's totally okay. Certain situations may bring up stress, and that's totally fine and normal. But are we dwelling on it? Are we making that the pinnacle of our day? Right?
Right.
So, for example, what if you are late for a meeting, or you're late to pick up your kid from school or whatever, and out of nowhere there's traffic? Our first response is to react, right? Angry, upset, you're stressing out, you're going to be late, you're very nervous that you're going to be late, you might lose an opportunity, whatever it is. This traffic situation is causing you to feel negative emotions. Now, can you control the traffic? No. As human beings, we rarely control anything. Everything around us happens, and we need to learn how to kind of morph ourselves into situations and learn to react in the right way. So when you are feeling down, upset, when you feel that that negative energy is bubbling up. And for everybody that might feel different. For me personally, I'll tell you honestly, like if I feel nervous or upset at something, at the pit of my stomach, I'll start feeling like these twisting, like kind of like when you're nervous, like those butterflies, but it's a little bit different. When I start to feel that, I know automatically, okay, my energy is very low right now. Right now, I'm not in a great place to manifest good things. So if I want to manifest good things, I need to shift those emotions and redirect them to positive energies. How do we do that? Especially when you're in the moment, how do you do that? So the way I do it and the way I teach other people to do this is the number one thing that you can do to kind of reroute your energies into positive directions is by practicing gratitude. When you practice gratitude and appreciation, automatically you're going to feel lucky. Why? Because you're not thinking about what you don't have. You're focusing on what you currently have. And manifestation is when you are happy and grateful for what you currently have, then more things come to you, right? For example, let's put it like this. You can't, I've heard this so many times from different people. You can't expect the world to change around you so that you can feel a certain way. Don't wait for something to happen. Don't wait for the money to hit your bank account to feel happy. Don't wait for this person to come into your life to feel complete and loving with your own self. Don't wait for circumstances in your life to happen so that you can feel or be a certain way, because that will never happen. Circumstances around your life happens based off of what you're feeling. And that's what so many people don't know. Because we think, oh, if this happens, then I can be happy. If this happens, maybe I'll be less annoyed, right? But no, if you will be happy, then it will happen. If you will be less annoyed, then it will happen, right? And that's the hard part. That's where we put in work, because sometimes when we don't have it, we tend to feel negatively about ourselves or about the situation. We need to learn how to believe, have faith, and remember that everything is for the good reasons. And you will have what is meant to be for you. So back to gratitude. When you're feeling down, the best way to reroute those energies is by feeling grateful. I have a practice. Either you can do this when you wake up in the morning, during the day, or before you go to sleep, or anytime really, right? Start listing out things that you're grateful for. And what I like to do is, and I would love it if your audience can take it into their own life, because I'm telling you, this will change so many things for you. Before you go to sleep, take out a notebook, take out a journal, and make yourself a goal that you need to write at least 5 things every single day that you are grateful for at the end of the day. Whether it's that you got home without traffic, whether it's that you can, that you actually have a job, especially now in COVID, so many people are unemployed, right? That's a big deal. Maybe it's the smallest things, like being able to wake up in the morning, or being able to see, having friends, having your family, something. There are so many things that you can be grateful for. And the smallest things are really the biggest things that we just take advantage of because we feel it's our right. But what happens when you don't have it, right? So many people can't see. So many people don't have limbs or a heart, they're alone for the rest of their life. They don't have family. They don't have friends. They're all alone. They don't have a home. They don't have a car. They don't have a job. You have more than 90% of the people on this earth have. Mm-hmm. And if we cannot be grateful for what we currently have, we cannot manifest more. Automatically, when you start listing all of these things, you're going to start feeling lucky. Now, here's the trick, and here's like the science behind it all. Your thoughts can literally only think of one thing at a time. We have 60,000 thoughts a day, but every thought is singular. Try thinking of 2 things at once. It's not going to work. Right? Yes, we can say multitasking, but multitasking is not a thing. Everything happens in a singular moment. So one thought, when you finish that one thought, the other thought is coming. They're never going to collide. Yes, they might happen within like seconds of intervals right after the other, but it's always independent. It's an independent thought. So when you're not focused on the bad things, your thoughts are going to be focused on something else. Where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows. Where are you putting your attention? Are you putting your attention on things that make you unhappy? Or are you putting your attention on things that make you feel good? Whatever that attention is on, that's where your energy is going to. And that's the energies that you're going to be bringing out to the universe. So you can learn to shift your energies even when you're in the most hardest time of your life, even when you're feeling unhappy or ungrateful for whatever reason. You can shift that thought simply by changing your thoughts. So I do this when I'm feeling stressed, and I'm very prone to feeling anxious. I can get very stressed out very easily. And as soon as I do, the first thing that I do is I start listing things that I'm grateful for. Automatically, I become less stressed, I become more calm, I become happier. And this is the way that so many people can actually heal themselves from feeling stressed, from feeling upset. Change your thought process. That is really the foundation of manifestation. Do you have any questions?
I don't at the moment. No, I am just soaking in everything you're saying. I have experienced some of these things before where I've had to become really mindful and say, like, okay, I need to change my thought process, like this isn't good for me. But I don't know if I've ever realized how that energy not only affects me, but affects the universe around me too, and like how the universe then comes back to me, right? So that's
100%.
really interesting.
Yeah, manifestation is all about surrendering. And when you surrender even more. Because, yes, surrender even more. You have to remember, you are not God. We're not here to play God. You're not here to play the universe. You are a human being. And we are not meant to be controlling of everything. Our job here is to have this trust, right? It's like, for example, take the universe or God or divinity, energy, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in, right? Take that thing and think of it as like, a parent. When you're a little kid and you fall off your bike, you know that your father's going to pick you up and take you inside. Your mom's going to calm you down, clean off your boo-boo. Everything's going to be fine. Within 5 minutes, you're back out on your bike, right? That's how it is with kids. We need to find that inner child within us. Because if we learn to trust divinity or energy or that guidance as we trust our parents, and if we learn how to trust the universe to mend us and clean up and all those broken pieces that sometimes we feel so crushed, we can be fixed. We're not broken. There might be a little crack, but we're not broken. And learn to trust. It's a process because trust is a big thing. But when you learn to trust, it gives you room to surrender. Because all of a sudden, all of that control, all of that responsibility of needing to feel in control dissipates. Because you understand that no matter how much you fight for it, you are not in control. No matter how much you get upset at the traffic, is it going to change the traffic? No. It's raining when you're on a picnic. No matter how much you stomp and cry and throw things in the air, is it going to change the rain? No. There's so many things that we cannot control. The only thing we can control is how we react to a situation, right? And the way we react, there's so many things that we do every single day that can either block our manifestation or things that can actually open more doors and make more room for more opportunities. So I have this actually amazing example for your audience. Imagine yourself at the top of your head, there's like some sort of tube, right? That's connected from your head all the way up to the seven skies, up, out into the universe, out into the cosmos, right? And this tube is connected from your head all the way to this source of energy. Now, because you're connected to the source, you're constantly going to be filled with good, right? If there's a little lake that's connected to the ocean, that lake is never going to be dry because it's constantly receiving water from the ocean. And no matter how much water goes out of that lake, more water is going to come in. And not only that, actually, the more water it takes out, the more water it can receive. Because if it didn't take water out, it's just going to overflow, right? Mm-hmm. So there has to be a balance of give and take. When you believe that you are connected to the source of energy, that you have this direct contact with all the blessings, you're constantly being poured with opportunities and abundance and blessings. The fact that you wake up in the morning, the fact that you can talk, the fact that all of your senses are there and all of your limbs are working properly and your body's functioning and that you still have your job, you still have family. Do you know how many people wake up in the morning and they lose the loved one? Like, how many people does that affect? Do we ever take a moment to just wake up in the morning and say, thank you that I still have my loved ones with me, that my parents are still here, my siblings, my significant other, my friends, I still have so many things. We don't really take the time to think, right? But we constantly have this surge of abundance pouring directly into our lives every single second of every single day. The problem that we have is that we don't realize it, and because we don't realize it, we start grabbing and we start trying to hoard all of that blessings and we don't give. So what happens when we get full to the top, just like that lake? If it's not going to give water, it can't receive any more water. What's going to happen is just going to overflow, all the water is going to go out, and it's not going to receive any water. You need to give in order to receive more. So if you believe that you're constantly being blessed every single day, you won't have a problem to learn to give to other people. And when you give to other people, that is a definition of happiness. Mm-hmm. Happiness is not about like, I want this, I'm going to get it. It's not about you. It's about you giving to other people, right? When do you feel the happiest? When you buy yourself something or when you help somebody else or when you buy something for somebody else?
For somebody else, for sure.
Right. Like you have that feeling like I just got something and you're so excited to show them what you got them, right?
Yeah.
That is happiness. When you learn to give, you will receive more. So that's also a very big part of manifestation. Don't feel like you won't have. If you give, you won't have. If you give your time, you won't have time. That's not true. Yes, there has to be a balance that if you really don't have, you have to give yourself and your family first. But when you believe that everything that you need is already what you have in your life right now, you can learn to give even in the smallest ways, contribute to your community, volunteer, do the smallest things, and that will make more room for even more abundance. Mm-hmm. Yes, there are so many things that we can do to learn how to manifest properly.
Yeah, that's really good. So do you want to go ahead and dive into the listener questions now?
Sure.
Okay, so this one I think is really interesting. What kind of importance do you think that the terminology of like energy and manifestation holds?
Everything.
Yeah.
It's literally everything. If the energies that you give off, like I said before, is the reality that you're going to be seeing in your life. So if you're not happy with your life, you have to start thinking, what kind of energies am I giving off? If you're not happy where you are in life, whether it's financially, whether it's in however it is, personally, start thinking, what kind of energies am I giving off? The world is all karma. So whatever I'm receiving right now, it means that that's what I gave off. Start by looking into yourself, becoming more aware. The more aware you are, the more you can actually control your thoughts to some degree, because obviously we cannot control 60,000 thoughts a day. But when you do catch a thought, when you do catch an emotion, reroute it to a good place.
Right.
And the more you do that, even if you feel like, you're having a negative thought, you're afraid of something, you're afraid of losing someone or public speaking or whatever, don't give your fears that momentum. Because like I said, where your attention is, that's where your energy is going to go. So if you're focused on what you're afraid of, or if you're focused on a bad thought, that's where your energy is going to go, and it's giving it that big momentum. That's what your focus is on right now. That's the reality you're going to experience, those emotions, those energies that you're giving out right now. Try shifting your thoughts. And if you see that you keep going back to that thought, it's fine. Change your thought again. Mm-hmm. And you keep going back to that thought, change your thought again. It's all about practice. It's like a muscle that you're building. And the more practice you get with that, the more you build that awareness, the more you start realizing where your thoughts are and how you can reroute them, the more you will be able to actually control your thoughts in a way where you are always tuned to the station of abundance. Energy is everything. So what importance is it? It's literally everything. It's your entire existence. You are not just a physical body made of earth. You are also energy. And all of your power, all of your potential lies in your energy, not in your physical part. That physical part is just there to give your energy a place to stay. Mm-hmm. You are energy. So it's literally everything.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Why do you think it is difficult for conservatively religious people to come to terms with the ideas of energy and manifestation?
Okay, so I don't know who asked this question, but I already love this person. I'll tell you why, because it's very personal to me. I grew up in a very religious community, in a very religious home. My parents are Jewish. I mean, I'm Jewish. My parents are Jewish. And we kind of grew up in this like ultra Orthodox community, the schools we went to and everyone we know. The thing is, in any religion that you go to, it's all the same basic concept. There's a God, learn to trust. And what I learned is when I was like 16, I decided I didn't want to be religious anymore. I decided I wanted to just break free and do my own thing, right? But when I hit my rock bottom and I started going through this transformation and I discovered energy and manifestation, I realized, and this is the part where so many people don't know, and I'm so glad that you asked this question. What people don't know is that literally everything we're learning right now, everything that's online about energy and manifestation and the power of your mind and all of that, that is actually the concept that we are taught in religious communities as God. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's just that in the religious communities, they're more idolizing that concept of God, and it's a little bit different the way they teach it. And the concept of energy, it's literally the same exact thing. It's just a different understanding that God is not, if you believe in God or divinity or whatever, if you're in a religious community, it's not there to harm you. It's not there for you to blame. A lot of times I feel like coming from a religious background, like bad things happen, the first thing we do is we blame God, right? As human beings, we like to blame other people for something that's bad, right? So that's the problem. When we learn from a young age to blame this higher source, we don't learn to take responsibility. And the biggest thing with energy is to understand that you are actually responsible. You are responsible for your thoughts. You're responsible for your actions, for your emotions, for everything. And if you can't be responsible for that, that's when things start changing gear and turning into a reality that you don't really like. So I think that there's a lot to talk about this. I can't even get into how, I don't even know. It's just such a big topic that I've given so much thought into, but it's basically the same concept and the same idea. It's just given in a different way. And a lot of times the way we are taught things have a very big impact on our life. So if you were taught about God or energy in the wrong way, that can actually affect the way you're manifesting. And I've experienced it in my own life, so I do have a lot to talk about this, but I can't even get into how important this is to understand that, yes, it is the same thing. It's all about learning to understand it with a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good. And I think I agree with you. I think that they're very much the same things. And I think that if you are religious, that it can easily coexist with ideas of energy and manifestation. That's so simple for me. But I was raised, I think, in a little bit more of an open-minded environment. And for other people who can't reconcile that, I just want them to try,
Right.
Because I think that they are both really important things. So if you do believe in a religion, you can easily believe in manifestation. It's just you've got to change your perspective just a little bit and say, oh, they are essentially the same, and they can coexist.
Right, 100%. And maybe sometimes those who weren't really brought into it from a young age might be afraid of it because it's a little like, it's not really spoken about. I mean, now, everyone's a little bit more spiritual. It's a little more out there, but there are still some people who do find it to be a little bit creepy. And they still do try to, because it's a lot to take in. When you realize that you're really not in control, when you've been taught that you're in control of everything in your entire life, it's very hard. It's kind of like changing your thought process, and that's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're very right. Okay. So one of the questions that I got was on whether or not there's more to manifestation than more to it than money and success. And I know that there is, and you know that there is, but what I want to turn this question into is maybe you can talk a little bit about why it's really trendy right now to manifest success. And do you think that is a problem?
It's definitely not a problem if there's a balance.
Right.
Now, the question is, what does success mean to you? To everybody, success can be different. Do you want success with being focused? Do you want success in your productivity? Do you want success in your career, success in your relationships? What kind of success are you talking about? Obviously, everybody always wants to succeed with whatever it is that they're doing. It doesn't always necessarily have to be about money. What the focus is now, what you're saying is trending, is because on social media, that's what it is. On social media, if you look rich, if you look like you have stuff, people are going to follow you because that's what they want. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's not, they say money is happiness. It's really not. And it's turned into a trend because that's what so many people are showing off. They're showing off their new car, their new clothes, their new this and that and that and that, their new relationship. But mainly the focus on social media is about how much money I got in my bank account, right? How much money my boyfriend's got in their bank account. And that's all measured by the assets that they have in their life. So I think that's a very big part as to why it's kind of trending, why people think it's so important, but also to understand that success doesn't necessarily mean financially. You can be succeeding in so many different areas in your life, and you can still be a success. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, really good. So you've basically answered this already, and I think I know that your answer, or what your answer is going to be. But do you think that whole manifest success situation is damaging to the concept and the practice of energy and manifestation, like the trendiness of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because when we see it so often, and when you see that somebody else has something that you don't want, right? And you're constantly saving their pictures because I want this, so I want this and this and this and this and this. What's happening is that we're constantly comparing. And that comparison is really a big block in our manifestation, in our energies. Because when we're comparing, that's lack. That's you saying, she has something that I don't have, right? Mm-hmm. They have something that I don't have, and I want this. And again, like what we said in the beginning of this episode, when you want something, when you're feeling desperate about it, that's coming from a place of neediness and desperation. That's lack. So when you see it all the time and people are showing that if you want to live a good life, this is what you have to do. This is what kind of life you have to lead in order to be happy, in order to be a good life, have a good life. Obviously, everybody's going to run towards it because, again, we're all in the pursuit of happiness. So if this is something that I think is going to make me happy, I'm going to go after that. But it couldn't be farther from the truth because, again, the more you try to control it, the more you run after it, the more you feel desperate for it, the less of it you're going to have. Mm-hmm. So what I like to do is, and it can get to everybody. It doesn't matter how spiritually aligned you are or how much personal development you're learning. Like, we're still human being and it's still going to get to us. So if I feel that I'm on social media and I save things, I want to go shopping online. I save. But if I see that as soon as it gets to the point where I'm feeling needy or desperate, I will take a break from social media and start listing my things of gratitude. Because at the end of the day, neediness breeds jealousy. Jealousy is not a good energy. And again, it leads us back to what kind of energies are you giving out? What are you manifesting? It's all under this big ball called lack. So I would highly suggest, if you are feeling in a certain way that social media is showing you stuff that you don't have and that you actually want it, it's okay to want it and be okay with wanting it. You can want anything you want in your life, but don't over want it. Don't try to work too hard for it. Want it, but also believe that it's going to come to you. Don't dwell on it so much, because the more you dwell on it, the more desperate you're going to be for it.
Yeah, that's really good. I think that's a really good, a really important difference between dwelling on it and just wanting it.
Right, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, my last question for you from a listener. So, animism is the belief that places and plants and words hold spiritual essence and are alive and animated, right? So, do you think that animism plays a part in energy and manifestation?
Meaning, can you repeat that question again for me?
Yeah. So, animism is the belief that places and plants and words and just like essentially inanimate objects and ideas hold spiritual essence and are alive. So do you think that animism plays a part in like manifestation and the idea of energy? I think it does.
Well, in the idea of manifestation, well, first of all, everything has energy.
Right.
Everything in this world has energy, and it has more energy than physical to it. Right? We don't see energy, so we just focus on the physical part. But what's behind it is the most beautiful thing. Your phone, your cup, your book, your desk, your table, you, the person next to you. It's all energy. And the one thing is that energy intertwines. It doesn't set personal boundaries. So for example, have you ever walked into a room and felt like a vibe?
Yeah.
Right? So, or like spoke to a person and like felt their vibe. Maybe it wasn't like a vibe that you like, so you didn't talk to them again. Right? That's because their energy is intertwining with your energy. Everything that has energy, and that is everything, will intertwine with your energy. So yes, everything in this world does have energy, and you have to know where you surround yourself with. So it can definitely have a very big impact on your manifestation. Now, I'm not saying that if you're next to a cup of water, it's going to like affect your manifestation, even though it does have energy. What I'm talking about is bigger energy. Right. And where that bigger energy lies is in other people.
Yeah.
Right. And other people, even in social media, places where you see other people, that is where there's more energy. And so if you feel like somebody's energy is getting to you, right, they're like sucking out all of that good energy from you, that can have a very big impact on your manifestation. And I'm glad that we actually touched up on this, because I have a practice that I do, and I'm going to briefly explain this. What I like to call this is the protective dome. Okay, so imagine like, another analogy here. In the movies, if there's like this super hero or whatever, they're trying to protect a city or a person, they'll have like a dome around it, right? And like anything that hits that dome will bounce right back off.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of dome that we need to create around ourselves every single day, because every day we're meeting new energies, right? I don't even want to say people, because we're literally energies. Every single day we're coming into contact with different energies, and we want to make sure to protect ourselves from any negative energies. Because someone else's negative energies can directly affect your energy, which will directly affect your manifestation, which will directly affect your reality. So it's a very big deal that what I do in the morning, what I literally do is I put my hands down in front of me after I do my meditation or my yoga. You put your hands down in front of you all the way, and what you do is you just go around yourself in a circle all the way to the back, and then you do the same thing top and bottom. That literally creates a ball around you. And what you do is, that is your protective bubble for the rest of your day. any negative energies or comments, someone said something, someone did something, right? That is going to bounce right off your protective dome, right? Because whatever's inside this dome is going to directly affect you. So good things, positive things have VIP access into that dome. But if you're also going to allow other people's judgments and ideas and words or energies to affect you, you're going to be a mess. Because not only do you have to deal with your energies, but now you're dealing with somebody else's negative energies, and all of that combined is a big explosive bomb of lack. So yes, you have to be very, very careful with who you surround yourself with and how you actually deal in certain situations. If it's somebody that's close to you, obviously you're not going to like just ditch them. You're going to want to help them, but also maintain this boundary, this like protective bubble where you can talk to them and you can be there for them, but you're not allowing their energies to affect you directly.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Eden, this has been really good stuff. I've really loved this.
Thank you. Yes, I had so much fun talking to you and your listeners.
Oh, I think that, I mean, I know I've loved it. I think that everybody's going to really enjoy this. I think that it's about time for us to wrap up. I know you've got some other stuff going on today, but I am really glad that you got to come on. So thank you for being here, and I want you to go ahead and plug yourself.
Okay, so first of all, I actually have my own podcast. Every Thursday. It's called Mending Broken Beliefs. You guys can find it on Spotify, Apple, and all the other platforms as well. I also have a book that I just published. It's called The Pathway to Freedom. And this book is actually amazing. So many people, I got such good reviews from so many people that have read the book. It's basically off of my own experiences of how to give yourself a fresh start. So if you're feeling stuck, out of control, you're not feeling happy where you are right now, you feel like you need to do some more deeper personal development, this is the book that's going to actually teach you how to give yourself that first start and learn to transform your life in the easiest way possible. What else? I have my Instagram. It's Eden_Busani, and my website, which is edenbusani.com. You guys can check that out. And I would love to hear from you guys. You know, you can DM me, and it would be great to get in touch.
I love that. Okay. So y'all make sure that you go check her out, check her podcast out. Follow her on Instagram for more good stuff like this. And then make sure while you're at it that you subscribe to the I've Been Thinking Patreon for early access to episodes, for extra content. Give us a follow on Instagram at I've Been Thinking Pod. Check out the website, I'veBeenThinkingPod.com. Today's blog post will be on there about this episode, and I'll make sure to link all of Eden's stuff on there too so that you can find her easily. Subscribe where you listen, and recommend us to a friend as well, and recommend Eden to a friend as well.
Thank you.
Of course. So guys, thank you so much for listening to us today. And Eden, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist, and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.